Currently, our advertising platforms have been suspended without any reason. This is a difficult time for us. We will continue to work hard and dedicate ourselves to you, but we also greatly need your support. The funds that you donate through Give Send Go are the main source of money for us to continue covering expenses. If you find value in what we are doing, please continue to support and accompany us by selecting the monthly donate package for us via Give Send Go at the link below. RestoredRepublic.co relies solely upon donations from people like you to keep our site functional and free to use. Make America great again. God bless America, God bless us all.
Restored Republic via GCR, update as of June 28, 2024. The latest video will be shown earlier at the official website restoredrepublic.co. Duty note: from the information herein it's assumed that matters regarding the global currency reset and changeover to restored republics of the world is imminent. The military was waiting on the World Court for legalities according to common law, to be finalized between nations. President Trump will soon be back, and within 12 hours of his announcement, our world would begin changing. Everything has been completed for NISARA/GCR payouts, including GCR being announced through certain media, making it legal. All debts of various nations including the U.S., have been settled using GCR funds collected from the cabal. GCR has begun paying out in several countries, with the U.S. payouts to citizens scheduled. Payouts for the global currency reset has been authorized, scheduled and reported. Word was that right now some Tier 3 SIM holders were in Reno meeting with their wealth managers and proceeding with the redemption process. The Pentecostal group has already started to pay out their Group 1. On Thursday 27th of June, the new Iraqi dinar rate was available to citizens of Iraq through their debit cards and ATMs. Iraq has scheduled an announcement of their new dinar rate by publication in their Gazette on Saturday 29th of June, with the celebration scheduled for Sunday 30th of June. Very soon Tier 4B was expected to begin exchanges in China, the process going across Asia and into Europe and then to the US. The Pentecostal group will begin to pay out their Group 2 on Thursday 4 July, the same day the US will be celebrating Independence Day, with major announcements expected. You'll never find the below news in the mainstream media. CIA Director Gina Haspel was injured while being arrested at CIA headquarters in Frankfurt, Germany after she directed servers in 2020 election fraud. 5 of our Special Forces troops, along with a CIA official, were killed in the raid. Haspel was flown to Gitmo, where she was treated and received a tribunal for treason. She agreed to help Trump for a lighter sentence of life, which can be revoked if she chooses to not cooperate. She has now turned over information on the servers, what they were for, what they did and who was involved. The Italian 'Ndrangheta, The Guardian, mafia trial in Italy invited over 900 witnesses to testify against 350 defendants, who were all found guilty of various crimes including child sex trafficking and murder. They are no longer with us. US VP Kamala Harris was born a male British citizen in Benghazi, whom his satanic parents named Kamala Rao. By October 20, 2020, Biden, Obama, Hillary, Brennan, Pelosi and Schiff had been arrested by the White Hats and sent to Gitmo, where they underwent military tribunals, were found guilty of various crimes including high treason and executed. They've been played by clones and actors ever since. The Canadian mainstream media reported that the Obama clone was arrested for espionage on Saturday, June 22, 2024. In addition to Hillary Clinton's numerous crimes, she ran the world's largest child sex slavery and trafficking rings through the Clinton Foundation. HRC died the day she spoke at the 9/11 event and collapsed at the SUV when she was told she was under arrest. They rushed her to her daughter Chelsea's house because it is a medical facility for her. A double came out and said she was okay. At this medical facility at Chelsea's place, she was revived by a very interesting technology using adrenochrome and baby's blood. She was taken to Greenland, put on ice and kept alive in a vegetative state. She was given a tribunal and sentenced to death by hanging. She was brought back to consciousness and hanged. Obama, arrested and at Gitmo for treason, made a plea deal and avoided hanging for a time to help Trump. However, he violated the plea deal by using a cell phone that he hid under his pillow at Gitmo. On September 30, 2019, his cellmate John Kerry ratted on him about the phone. Guards immediately took him from the cell and shot him in the back of the head. Lying Big Mike was executed shortly after. Obama had turned over evidence on Big Mike to get the plea deal. Pentagon officials say that Pelosi asked them to stage a military coup against Trump. In July 2013, Bill and Melinda Gates were hanged in India by parents of children who were killed and handicapped by the Gates vaccines. There were 16,000 MS-13 gang members who were rounded up by the White Hats and shipped out of the U.S. to a distant island. A global currency reset in NISR/GCR Thursday, June 27, 2024. All of my information tonight is coming from Iraq. Today one of our sources was at the Iraqi airport in Baghdad and was able to use his Iraqi debit card to access funds. For him to do that he had to have the new Iraqi dinar rate. Today a source in Iraq said we would have the Iraqi budget in the Gazette over this weekend. My sources say Tier 4B notification could come the last 3 days of this month. Free, Saturday or Sunday. 28, 29, 30th of June. Iraq was planning on celebrating their new Iraqi dinar rate on Sunday 30th of June. Trump was expected to return between July 1 to 5. We know SCOTUS has already made a decision on 2020 voter fraud and the announcement of such should come out at any time, which would dissolve the Biden administration and all of Congress. The contract rate on the dinar went up another $1 today. They will give that rate to you if you are a U.S. citizen. We don't know when this is going to go. My Iraqi contact said our time was coming in a matter of days. Thursday, June 27, 2024 marks, the new Iraqi dinar rate was not in the Gazette. But they did fully expect their new rate in the month of June. The country cannot function too long with the ATMs loaded with the new gold-backed dinar note. Banking contacts say it will happen sometime between July 4 to 8. While outsiders were saying July 12 to 13. Thursday, June 27, 2024 Wolverine: My contact in Brazil just called and said we won. We won. They have stated paying out. No one really knows when the RV is going to hit. It will come as a thief in the night. The people that I have spoken to are people that have high-level contacts and they are not gurus or messengers. I received an audio from a friend which was a conversation of the paymaster and him and telling when his money is going to be deposited and how many dollars, which is a lot of zeros. That was real, not a made-up stories. Looks like things have started and are ready to go. I received great news regarding Asia and the Philippines which will be going soon. All good news from Asia. I also have great news from my source in Brazil. Good information, and the people in Brazil have indicated to you officially, by part of the table, they were notified that everything is as scheduled and everything reported has already been authorized. Also, some people in Brazil are going around with Bibles and thanking God for everything. People are getting very emotional, and people are being told to remain grounded. So, emotions are high quite down there. I should receive intel coming from Reno and hopefully get the news I have waited for. My associate has spoken to my whale and said we are now closer than ever. He is waiting to get notified and waiting to go to Reno or whatever table he belongs to. We will get notified, hopefully, any day right now. We have been told that before the end of the month we will be able to hopefully celebrate. We heard from TNT saying that by Sunday we will celebrate, and all is lining up with Iraq. All this has been very hard and draining on me. Thank you for all your support. One of the toughest trolls I have ever done. I have been involved in many things prior to the internet, but when the internet came through the attacks started. I was confronted with unrelenting things I had never encountered before, and to think I was not even a leader. When I embarked on this spiritual journey, I never thought these things would occur, as we are here to help humanity, not here just for ourselves, but to help our fellow man. Things from all fronts saying it is happening. My friend called, and it was an incredible emotional call, and he is getting really excited. I am sure this news I have given you will lift your spirits, and hopefully in a few hours, I will get some news from Reno, and if it is the news I am waiting for, then we will have an emergency live call and we will get Carpathia to talk with us. The Pentecostal group came out and it looks they have actually started to pay out Group 1. The owner came out with a post saying they're going to start paying the second group by the 4th of July. Maybe Bruce got it right this time, as the notifications may come today, so keep an eye on your emails as they may pop up. Have a beautiful day, Wolverine. Wednesday, June 26, 2024 Texas Snake. Well, it looks like Wolvie was right. The call confirmed what I had posted earlier plus indicated the exchange process will begin in China, move eastward to Europe and then to the US. Middle. They anticipate a start soon but cannot confirm the exact start date. Middle. They are also positive we are almost there. B. Global financial crisis: middle. Thursday, June 27, 2024. Boom. U.S. debt clock, the dawn of the U.S. Treasury dollar, a bankless revolution in finance. Middle. Thursday, June 27, 2024. Boom. Everything is related: GCR, QFS, GCR/RV, ISO 20022, Basel III, Protocol QFS 20, and dinar are components of the new financial system. See Restored Republic: middle. Thursday, June 27, 2024, list of indictments, arrests and executions. Dismantling the deep state operatives and doubles, what's really going on behind the scenes. Middle. Thursday, June 27, 2024, Operation NCSIC, Trump's military alliance in the White Hat's grand-scale strategy in USSF Cheyenne Mountains, decoding the dark secrets of DoD's updated Law of War Manual. TikTok Mr. Pool 2.0: middle. 1. The military team worked from 24th to 26th May on Nizara/Jazara. The team was working on the party and the release of funds. Middle. 2. There was a soft announcement of Jazara. Middle. 3. We know time frames of events, not exact dates. Middle. 4. The debts between nations have all been forgiven and wiped clean. Middle. 5. Jazara has started between all governments worldwide. Middle. 6. Foreign currency will not pay off debt, for currency will help you. Middle. 7. Social Security will not exist. Middle. 8. The money coming to everyone will come in structured payments up to $5,000 for 60 and above. Possible time frame: January 2025. Middle. 9. Everything is done. The military is waiting on the World Court for all legalities to be finalized properly between nations according to common law. Middle. 10. The World Court are going over paperwork. Middle. 11. Nothing more needs to be done. Middle. 12. Disabled seniors will get $7,500. Middle. 13. There's no rules to get $7,500. Middle. 14. There's 200 programs where everyone will get financial abundance according to Jazara. Middle. 15. Everything stolen will be returned 1,000 times over and more. Middle. 16. This is the day of abundance that will blow your mind. Middle. 17. The military worked all night long and wanted us all to receive the abundance. Middle. 18. The military are in charge, not President Trump or the White Hats. Middle. 19. The military are playing 5D chess with President Trump. Middle. 20. The military have to be strategic and meticulous in the execution of the final stages of the plan. Middle. 21. Stop attacking each other. Stop attacking intel providers. Middle. 22. When you are angry and impatient, you choose to stay in a negative energy field, you damage yourself. Middle. 23. On the 25th, the military was working on Nizar all night long. Middle. 24. From the 24th to 26th Nizar, the following was achieved: Jazara announced publicly under the U.S. and it was made liquid. The money is flowing. Middle. 25. First to fourth, get rid of a mindset of lack. Start thinking abundance. Middle. 26. No kicking the can. No delays. Middle. 27. Jazara was announced to select media outlets through the Starlink satellite system. Middle. 28. Jazara was announced and this made it legal. Middle. 29. The process is slow because of the legalities. Middle. 30. 12th to 16th, there is no can. We are waiting for the World Court for the paperwork to be verified according to common law. Middle. 31. Cabal lies to banks and bankers found out they were angry. Some bankers quit their jobs because we are so close to the end of this. Middle. 32. 17th to 20th, Michael/Michelle Obama is not running for president. Arrested. Middle. 33. Anything that is negative is a lie. Middle. 34. This is happening now, not 2025. Middle. 35. January 1st, Iraq becomes illegal as a legal tender in Iraq. Middle. 36. The banks are getting ready for the RV and GCR. Middle. 37. So much is happening and has happened. Middle. 38. President Trump will be back overnight. Middle. 39. Everything is imminent. Middle. 40. Everything changes within 12 hours after the announcement worldwide. Donald Trump. Wars and rumors of wars: middle. Thursday, June 27, 2024, breaking: Russian hypersonic strikes obliterate Ukrainian airfields, NATO's strategic relocation to Poland and Romania. Thursday, June 27, 2024. Ukraine nearing end. Thursday, June 27, 2024. 1 to 2 million soldiers, 900 tanks storm Ukraine. The real news for Thursday, June 27, 2024. The Department of Homeland Security is reportedly identifying more than 400 migrants as subjects of concern. The worry here is that they got into the U.S. through an ISIS-affiliated human smuggling network. The location of dozens of these migrants still a mystery. Thursday, June 27, 2024. Alert, thousands in outages. Thursday, June 27, 2024. Hunter Biden just received the bad news that made him lose his lunch, informed American. Wednesday, June 26, 2024. Trump just released a heartbreaking 4-minute compilation of the awful crimes committed by Biden's illegal aliens. All of it is just from June 2024 alone. Thursday, June 27, 2024. America, if you're unsure if the 2020 election was stolen, here's your answer. Alabama Attorney General is repeatedly questioned whether Joe Biden is the duly elected and lawfully serving President of the United States. He would not say it on the record in testimony. Over and over he admitted duly elected and lawfully serving. He would not say it. This video is very telling. With all the corruption being exposed recently about the FBI, I'm resharing this video. It all makes so much sense now. 9/11, September 11, 2001, is the biggest lie of our lifetime. The FBI confiscated between 80 to 90 videos they have of what hit the Pentagon. The Pentagon, just so your viewers know, is the most heavily defended building in the world. The pilot who, allegedly was piloting the plane that crashed into the Pentagon, his name was Hani Hanjour, and he, according to the 9/11 Commission, was the worst pilot out of the bunch. Now they supposedly were training on Cessnas. So he went to this flight school, and he was such a poor pilot that the instructors wouldn't even certify him on flying a single-engine propeller plane. Yet, he is supposed to have taken this commercial jetliner and done some aerobatic maneuvers to bring it in almost ground level and go into the side of the Pentagon. So at the time it had an active, surface-to-air missile defense so they could shoot down incoming planes. There are more security cameras around the Pentagon even back then. The FBI confiscated between 80 to 90 videos they have of what hit the Pentagon. They won't release it. Like I said, the more you investigate, the more you don't want to look at it. 9/11 is the biggest lie of our lifetime. Thursday, June 27, 2024, breaking news. The Great DNC email purge, all 20,000 leaked Democratic National Committee emails deleted from WikiLeaks server. International child sex trafficking, organ and adrenochrome harvesting ring run out of the Vatican and housed in China's Three Gorges Dam in the 1,500-mile tunnel that runs between the Vatican and Jerusalem. Wednesday, April 6, 2022, thousands of children rescued, mutilated bodies recovered, from Biden-owned Ukraine property containing U.S.-run bioweapon labs. Thursday, October 28, 2021, Fauci, Big Pharma tortuous experiments on foster children, over 200 died. Thursday, October 28, 2021, Catholics, government, elites kidnapped, tortured, killed Native women, children, well over 60,000. Thursday, June 27, 2024, Guatemala, the Biden administration is up to something and they don't want us knowing about it, said the Secretary General of Guatemala, who claimed the U.S. Embassy gave him a message saying he's playing with fire if he takes part in this interview. The Secretary General claimed the Joe Biden admin was actively trying to block an investigation into a pedophile ring involving many high-level politicians and businessmen and transferring millions of dollars to eradicated names, over $500 million in total. He also said they're harboring illegal alien pedophiles and murderers. Guatemala wants to arrest these people, but the Biden administration won't cooperate. That's where your tax dollars are going. Satan-worshipping Illuminati Zionist deep state cabal globalist depopulation agenda 2030. Thursday, June 27, 2024, Danish authorities will levy €100 cow as the first tax on greenhouse gas emissions in agriculture. According to the Financial Times, livestock accounts for 11% of global emissions, with cows producing almost two-thirds of them. I would like to remind everyone that CO2 accounts only for 0.04% of the atmosphere and that human activity, including farming, accounts for only 3% of that 0.04%. The carbon emissions narrative is a total fraud to control and tax us to oblivion. Thursday, June 27, 2024. Biden crime family. Since Joe Biden was vice president, his family and their shell companies have hauled in $18 million from foreign sources. Small black square, $7.3 million from China. Small black square, $4 million from Ukraine. Small black square, $3.5 million from Russia. Small black square, $1 million from Romania. Small black square, $1 million from Panama. Small black square, $142,300 from Kazakhstan. For a Porsche. Small black square, $1 million in other foreign payments. Joe Biden met with nearly every foreign national, funneling his family millions of dollars. Small black square, chairman of SFI Jianming. Small black square, Chinese fund executive Jonathan Li. Small black square, Burisma corporate secretary Vadim Pashersky. Small black square, Russian oligarch Elena Baturina. Small black square, Kazakhstani oligarch Kens Rakishev. Joe Biden's son and brother have lied to Congress about his role in his family's corrupt influence peddling schemes. Small black square, lie. Hunter Biden had no affiliation with the slush fund account that received foreign payments after foreign business associates met with then Vice President Biden. Small black square, lie. Hunter Biden sent the threatening text to the wrong Chinese business partner invoking Joe Biden's presence and expectations about payment. Small black square, lie. James Biden said Joe Biden did not meet with Tony Bobulinski while they were pursuing a deal with a Chinese Communist Party-affiliated entity. We've referred Hunter and James Biden to the Justice Department for criminal prosecution for making false statements to Congress. We will continue to hold Joe Biden and his family accountable for their corruption. Thursday, June 27, 2024. White Hat Intel. Biden will step down around August 19. Several sources including U.S. Colonial Douglas McGregor is setting the state. The CIA/DNC want Biden removed. Michelle, Obama is talking with CIA/DNC to step as presidential candidate after Biden removal. I had said this was going to happen long ago. Now several insiders are giving these cables. In the next 3 months CIA/FBI are planning to stage a George Floyd-like event to spark race wars, and this will be part of Obama's plan to run on the staged false flag event. The CIA/DNC deep state attorney generals and courts are trying to set up Trump to be arrested after the debate Thursday, June 27, 2024. They are planning to use gag orders that are illegally in place. They are hoping Trump breaks the gag order. Deep state attorney generals and courts are already filling arrest orders in the state of Georgia. The White Hat intelligence knows that whatever happens on Thursday, Trump will be arrested in the next months. Trump must be out of harm's way and cannot be connected to the supermassive collapse that's going to happen with the near-civilization death events and near-civil war riots. Trump is highly protected by the military operations. You are watching military operations play out that were leading to 11.3 laws of war operations and protocol. The Russiagate exposure is set in full motion. Paul Ryan had the Russian dossier and knew it was all fake and a setup, but held the full papers. No panic in DC as white hats are washing to expose Russiagate and painting a picture of treason. Treason. CIA operations were using Soros money to create Secretary of State project to buy and elect Secretary of State officials to change voting rules and laws. Lots is happening, patriots, including the Federal Reserve being hacked by cyber attack. It's a fake inside job and the deep state is trying to attempt to use this false flag event to start central bank digital currency. Right now the feds are blaming Russian link gang claims on Federal Reserve hack, and their threats to release America's banking secrets today. Months ago I gave you this information so you could understand the military white hats know every stage of all operations and countermeasure and game theory operations are in place. Brief history of the restored republic: on the political scene right now we are dealing with a scripted movie. Ezra Cohen, acting Under Secretary of Defense for Intelligence and Security during the Trump administration, explained, "We are watching a movie and a lot of what we are seeing was completely bullshit and fake. The whole election was fake, along with the fake inauguration, fake executive orders and fake Oval Office. Right now the military was controlling our country until the new elections in a couple of months. The Vatican owned the corrupt DC corporation and that was no longer. It would soon be a republic for which it stands under the Constitution as originally intended. Many corrupt DC rats and Hollywood pedophiles have gone to jail and or been executed for crimes of high treason and conspiracy. Many more are in the process of meeting justice via military tribunals. Things will be made public in time, and very soon. No more secrets. No more games. After Trump was inaugurated in 2016, he put an interim military U.S. government in place to run the country. Ever since, the USA has been functioning under martial law with Donald Trump as commander-in-chief over the U.S. military. Some in the Pentagon had been preparing for this for over 20 years. They knew that the U.S. government was corrupt throughout, including Congress and the three-letter agencies. By 2018, Joe Biden was said to have been arrested by the military, tried for treason and pedophilia, found guilty and executed at Gitmo. He has been played by actors ever since, mainly Arthur Roberts. Since the 2021 inauguration of actor Biden, there has been two U.S. governments in force: 1, a legitimate interim military U.S. government empowered by the Constitution, and the Department of Defense under Military Code 11.3, and 2, an illegal, fraudulent foreign paid-for, foreign-controlled, on the foreign ground of the District of Columbia, Biden administration. Trump would remain as commander-in-chief of the U.S. military until all those who committed treason were arrested, including those who certified the illegal 2020 election. In that role after his 2016 inauguration, Trump immediately hired U.S. Attorney General for Utah John Huber and 740 investigators to look into alleged crimes of at least 140 congresspeople and other political elites, including Hillary Clinton. They later named these people in over 223,000 plus sealed indictments filed in federal courts across the nation, while other traitors' cases were processed through state grand juries. Of those, 85% to 95% indicted were Democrats, intermixed with a few Reno Republicans. The majority of charges were said to be pedophilia, child exploitation, misappropriation of U.S. taxpayer funds, and conspiring with foreign powers to influence the 2020 presidential election, an act of treason. Some serious charges couldn't be brought because Obama pardoned so many during his last days in office. These elected officials were said to be conspiring with foreign powers led by the Chinese Communist Party, to interfere with the 2020 election. By 2024, there was said to be over 450,000 sealed indictments against global and political elites which had been filed in federal courts across the nation. It was reported that when global elites were served, the deal that they got was that if they gave information that was useful, they could have a better death, or a jail cell for life. Obama gave up Michelle, and then breached his warrant. In June of 2024, Charlie Ward reported of the 450,000 indictments and tribunals held, we are in the last 5 to 10,000 to complete. As of May 1, 2024, another 500,000 sealed indictments were released to arrest judges, attorneys, mayors and governors. In addition, Space Force along with other military from around the world, have arrested over 8 million Nazi cabal deep state treasonous traitors. An arrest list has come out of elected politicians who have committed treason and crimes of pedophilia used to blackmail them for their vote. Of 100 senators on the list, 93 had been charged with treason. Even more members of the Democratic Congress, a suspected 80%, also face treason charges. The military under Trump had also been tasked with conducting a return to a gold/asset-backed dollar and to ensure that the U.S. Republic was restored to original laws of the Constitution as written prior to 1871. That operation for the U.S. return to the gold standard actually began in January 2020 during a government shutdown for COVID. President Trump was said to have reorganized several agencies including the U.S. Treasury, IRS and Federal Reserve. Now the U.S. military had control of all assets including taxpayer dollars at the new U.S. Treasury near Reno. 2020 election fraud: There was a Saturday, January 9, 2020 raid by U.S. military special op teams on CIA headquarters in Langley, Virginia. The raid produced firm evidence that the CIA, Democrats and other traitors have conspired with foreign entities led by the Chinese Communist Party, CCP, to interfere in the 2020 election. For many years the Chinese Communist Party, not the Chinese government, which was working to become a democracy, had been involved in a takeover of America. That war culminated when just prior to the 2020 U.S. presidential election, the CCP bought Dominion voting machines that in collusion with the Democratic Party, CIA and Vatican, threw millions of Trump votes to Biden. Months prior to the 2020 election, Trump made sure every state was sent watermarked ballots in which to print names of those running in the 2020 election. A military count of those watermarked 2020 election ballots later confirmed that Trump won in every state but one with an over 80% win. The CCP paid for and the CIA developed Smartmatic software and Dominion voting machines while conspiring with the Vatican, Italian government and other communist parties to throw Trump votes to Biden in the 2020 election. Back in 2019, Biden's actor knew the 2020 election would be cooked and even said so in public. "We have put together the most comprehensive voter fraud organization in the history of politics, and you guys did it for the Obama administration also." Joe Biden brags about having the most extensive and inclusive voter fraud organization in history. The Democrats were so confident of the setup for 2020 election fraud that they had the Biden actor brag that he didn't need U.S. citizen votes to get elected. Joe Biden tells voters, "I don't need you to get me elected." Before the 2020 election, Ukraine courts had ruled that Biden had stolen billions from their country. Even before that, U.S. Vice President Biden had bragged about blackmailing the Ukraine prosecutor. Ukraine press release about Joe Biden. On Thursday, January 28, 2020, certain traders in both the House and Senate recognized Trump as the acting U.S. president when they voted, again, to try to impeach him. Under rules of the Constitution, you could not impeach a U.S. president if he didn't presently hold the office. None of the 2020 election fraud tactics worked for the Democrats, but they didn't know it. Within days of the fraudulent 2020 election, the U.S. military had completed and verified an official count of watermarked ballots that proved Trump won the election by an over 80% vote. At that point, the military decided to keep Biden in as a so-called president of the bankrupt U.S. Incorporated in order to charge them with the crimes they would commit. Obama had pardoned so many that they needed new crimes in order to convict them. Just prior to Biden's pre-recorded in Hollywood by Castle Rock Entertainment inauguration, Washington, D.C., Capitol Hill and the White House were secured within miles of barbed wire fences and 60,000 National Guard troops. Over a week later, over 30,000 troops and the barbed wire fencing remained. For the next 2 days after the January 20, 2021 inauguration, the military was said to have gathered over 200 elected officials from various state governments. They were said to have taken them for helicopter rides, forcing them to confess about crimes of treason in regard to foreign interference, including the Chinese Communist Party, in the 2020 election. Early Monday morning, 25th of January 2021, from 3 a.m. to 6 a.m. arrests of 80 to 140 Congress people were underway at Capitol Hill, after which Congress seemed to have disappeared. House cancels business during first full Biden week. Washington Times. U.S. military at the White House arresting Congress. The war between the CCP and the U.S. actually ended on Thursday, January 28, 2020. Former Navy intelligence officer Simeon Parks reported a showdown in the South China Sea. The CCP had been trying to take over Taiwan. Taiwan was where gold was stored that would back countries including the U.S., for a global currency reset. Parks said that there were air battles between America and Taiwan fighter jets against CCP jets and the CCP lost big time. The New World Order fans had lost their war. A banker source out of Zurich said they had promised to settle everything by Friday, 29th of January. Military tribunals: By January 2, 2020, military tribunals were said to have already began at Gitmo for high-profile elites such as the Clintons, Obamas, and Bushes. Charges against them were believed to include capital high treason, election fraud, child sex trafficking, money laundering, misappropriation of U.S. taxpayer funds, plus Uranium One, 9/11 and Benghazi crimes. Deep State Special Prosecutor Robert Mueller was believed to have been charged for his involvement in the 9/11 cover-up. He was appointed FBI director 7 days before 9/11 and oversaw 9/11 so-called investigations, plus he conducted an ongoing fake Russian witch hunt against Trump. Earlier that Saturday morning, January 9, 2020, there had been 2 attempts on Trump and his wife Melania's lives. There were said to have been 12 plus such attempts since he gained office. Trump had had enough. He immediately instigated the Insurrection Act, put into law by George Bush Jr. after 9/11, and then turned his authority over to the U.S. military. Restored Republic: On January 11, 2021, Trump was believed to have been inaugurated as President of the Restored Republic. That position was later confirmed on July 4, 2021 at Mount Rushmore, where JFK Jr. was sworn in as Trump's vice president. The U.S. military was restoring the U.S. Republic to laws underlying the original Constitution as written prior to 1871. That election was planned to be held on March 4, 2021 through use of a transparent, secure and instantaneous quantum voting computer where citizens could vote using their own computers, or phones. On January 18, 2021 the U.S. military began sweeping arrests of Congress. On January 19, 2021 with overwhelming evidence of voter fraud yet to be allowed a court hearing, the U.S. was said to have been officially placed under martial law until a new election could be held. That announcement was sent to all mass media outlets for release, though none would put out the information. In more acts of treason. On January 20, 2021 actor Arthur Roberts, calling himself Joe Biden, was sworn in as president of a bankrupt and defunct U.S. Incorporated corporation. Biden's actual inauguration was said to be filmed on a Castle Rock Entertainment stage in Hollywood 2 weeks prior to January 20, 2021 Inauguration Day. On Monday, February 15, 2021 lights were again out at White House and there were reports of gunfire. Witnesses reported that they were using a vast amount of tunnels under the White House to move prisoners. On that same Monday 15th of February in the early morning hours at least 5 to 6 police cars loaded up from the White House, left, and returned 5 or 6 times. On Thursday, February 18, 2021 at 3 a.m. EST dozens of military attorneys JAGs arrived at the White House, 20,000 troops had been sworn in as U.S. Marshals, at least half of Congress were in the process of being arrested. A convoy of buses arrived at Capitol Hill, emptied groups of what appeared to be JAG lawyers and then were filled with what appeared to be prisoners. On Tuesday evening, February 23, 2021 thousands of rounds were heard fired around Capitol Hill. It was rumored that over 200,000 Chinese troops, CCP, were in underground tunnels and bases around Washington, D.C. and said to have been there for months. The U.S. military was clearing them out. On that same Tuesday evening, February 23, 2021 there were pictures of people in orange jumpsuits with black hoods on their head, being taken out of the fenced-in area of D.C. It was said that there were many found hiding in Congress buildings and being hunted down. For the next 4 years one of the 2 U.S. governments was in charge of Biden and making him sign blank executive orders on a stage set of the Oval Office. The White House was said to be empty. While the actor Biden pretended to be U.S. president, Trump was heading U.S., Russian and Indian forces that were helping China's President Xi invade the Chinese mainland to remove the Chinese Communist Party, CCP, and install an interim democratic government. In the early Monday morning hours of June 17, 2024 between 3 and 6 a.m. a blackout occurred in Washington, D.C. around the White House. Police, U.S. troops, military vans, buses and police cars were everywhere loading up passengers, taking them down the road and across a bridge and then coming back empty to do a repeat. When it was over and seemingly on cue, fireworks lit up the sky. Friday, June 21, 2024, evidently within the last month or so the Supreme Court privately heard and made a decision on the Brunson case that alleged Congress failed to investigate allegations of 2020 voter fraud before certifying the 2020 election. If a public announcement of a positive decision was made it would automatically dissolve the Biden administration and all of Congress. This week there were massive internet and network outages on the East Coast said to be a cover for Special Operations, SOF, units making arrests of deep state bad guys. It was likely that rolling blackouts would occur in other areas of the country as arrests were being made. Communications would be cut off for a short period of time. The banks, which had been functioning of fiat US dollars since 2008, were set to begin their collapse this coming weekend. The latest video will be shown earlier at the official website restoredrepublic.co.
Currently, our advertising platforms have been suspended without any reason. This is a difficult time for us. We will continue to work hard and dedicate ourselves to you, but we also greatly need your support. The funds that you donate through Give Send Go are the main source of money for us to continue covering expenses. If you find value in what we are doing, please continue to support and accompany us by selecting the monthly donate package for us via Give Send Go at the link below. RestoredRepublic.co relies solely upon donations from people like you to keep our site functional and free to use. Make America great again. God bless America, God bless us all.